I'm going to keep this short. I made a video a little while ago about John Jaquish. I called him a charlatan. It's like the charlatan John Jaquish or something like that. Now, I wasn't going to say anything else. I kind of made that video as, here's my 2 cents, here's what I have to say. And I was done. I hadn't commented about him on anybody else's videos. I hadn't said anything else about it. Hadn't posted any blog entries, written any comments anywhere. Just here's my thing, and I'm done. And in that video, I was pretty careful to try and be honest and balanced and say, look, there's nothing wrong with the X3 product. It's a very well-made product. It's made in USA, I believe. High quality products, or high quality materials, well-made product. It is a useful piece of equipment. Like, if you use it correctly, you can absolutely see results. And so I wasn't bashing the product at all. I don't remember actually if I left this in the video or if I edited it out, because I edited out like 30 minutes of additional content that I thought was just maybe not necessary. But whether it was there or not, I had during that recording also congratulated John on his contributions to, I believe, I forget the machines that he uses, or the methods he came up with. Something he's patented something that has to do with treating osteoporosis, I believe. But anyway, then when it came to me speaking about his education, it wasn't all doom and gloom. I pointed out that he went to a legitimate school there in California, I believe. And again, this is off memory. I haven't really thought about this since then. I haven't even checked my notes, but a legitimate accredited school in California to get his bachelor's in marketing. And then later he went to another school that, though the reputation isn't as good as the first school he went to, it is still an accredited school. And I believe he got his master's in marketing. It could be wrong. Again, I haven't checked my notes, but something like that. But I pointed out that the controversy surrounding his PhD is legitimate, that he did not go to a legitimate school. And it's not nitpicking because it's not a great school. It's quite literally not a real school. It's not accredited by anybody. It never has been. It never will be. It's quite literally a diploma mill. And I actually went into the details of just how much you can tell that is the situation. So the PhD is not legitimate. The guy does have degrees, but he has no PhD. And the degrees he does have are in marketing, which, considering how successful his marketing is, that makes sense. And then I just went into kind of dissecting some of his claims, and when he kind of bastardizes the science, or either makes a false claim and says there are studies that say this, which isn't true, or he'll reference a real study, but he misquotes it, I guess, correctly assuming that the vast majority of people will never actually go and read that study to see what it actually says. Anyway, that was the main video. And since then, it's had an overall pretty positive response. There's been a couple of people who would view it like his product is great, and I would have to point out, like, I know it's a good product. I didn't say anything against the product itself. But I was kind of over it. I haven't really thought about it. And then I saw that sliding bench trainer, Mike over there, who's awesome guy. I've got no problems with Mike. I consider him kind of a friend of mine, though I say that lightly, because although I consider him a friend, I don't want his association with me to get people frowning at him, basically, because that's how the internet can be. But Mike interviewed John again, and I watch all of Mike's videos these days. I typically enjoy them, and I was very surprised to see that pretty early in the video, John actually references my video specifically, which I was legitimately surprised, because I honestly thought that John would have never seen my video, would have never have heard about it. I assume that John is a busy guy, that he's got a lot of business matters he attends with the X3 or other products, other companies he's getting involved in, whatever it is. I figured he just has a full schedule and he wouldn't have time to see videos about him like other people make about him at all. And if he did somehow have time to see or hear about videos that are maybe going against him, or even if it was for him, for or against, if he somehow had time to see those videos or hear potential criticisms, that what are the odds he would see mine? Because there have been dozens or hundreds of videos and blog posts and everything else made about him for years now. If you type in his name, you'll see people responding to him or debunking his claims that are 4 and 5 years old. And I have a small channel. I have a very small audience. I didn't spam it. I didn't sponsor the video. I didn't make sure it was pushed out there and everybody would see it. It was just another random video I posted to my channel. Not a lot of production, there's no fancy editing. There's no clickbait, anything. Even that word, I think he had a hard time with me using the word charlatan because that's how he referenced my video. And even me using that word wasn't an accident. It wasn't like a clickbait thing. It was going off the definition of what a charlatan is. And basically someone falsely claiming to have special knowledge or skills or information or abilities or whatever. Now, of course, in popular culture, we typically think of that in terms of some guy, a pastor claiming that he has some sort of special connection with God. So if you follow him specifically and typically make him rich, you'll get into heaven. Now, charlatan doesn't have to be related to religion or cults or anything else. It's just the idea that the guy is claiming that he offers some special proprietary way to get you this thing you want. So you go through him, and it's typically bullshit. It's the same with the typical snake oil salesman, which is another idea of a charlatan. Somebody who has a product who's saying, it'll whiten your teeth, it'll brighten your eyes, it'll increase your IQ, it'll make you 3 inches taller, it'll do all these magical things. Just buy this special product, and it actually doesn't matter if the product in its own right is good or not, or if it has benefits or not. It's the fact that they're making claims that aren't true. They're selling you something that's not completely accurate. It's kind of bullshit, right? So for the reasons I went into in the video and for very specific things that I pointed out about false claims or misquoting science or even very conveniently leaving out important aspects of this whole topic, that I felt like what he was doing and the way he was marketing things kind of went with the definition of charlatan. So anyway, the reason why I bring this up now is because I posted a comment to Mike, the sliding bench trainer. I posted a comment to that video, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or shitty. It was just like, hey, since he somehow astonishingly, out of all the people, he not only saw my video, but quoted it, like he was referencing it multiple times throughout the video, throughout his interview with Mike. I was like, okay, well, in that case, I guess I'll give my 2 cents, which I wasn't even sure I wanted to do, but after watching the whole thing and seeing him get a little more, calling a different guy obese and this, that, and some of the things, like, well, okay, I'll make my comment, I'll be done with it, I'm really going to walk away from this. But when I posted the comment, it didn't show up. Not making any claims. Maybe it was flagged for something else. I don't know. But I took the time to write a comment. It never showed up. So I'm just now going to read the comment that I wrote in this video. So it's my technical response, and it's going to be the rest of this video. I'm going to be done. So sorry, I'm going to look over here. I'm reading off the computer screen. Said, wow. Of the hundreds of videos that have been made against his claims, it sounds like I am the guy who made the angry troll video. I must have hit a nerve. Unsurprisingly, he seems to be misrepresenting the points that I made, similar to the way that he misrepresents the scientific studies that he references. So, a few points. 1. I didn't say that your school makes you a charlatan. I pointed out that your accredited education focused on marketing and that your PhD was in fact from a non-accredited school, despite your claims that it is accredited. 2. Rushmore University has not met all of the criteria for a legitimate accreditation and has been outright denied accreditation by multiple authorities on multiple occasions over the last 30 years. 3. There is a list of very legitimate reasons why PhD students do not get to choose whatever they want for their dissertation. It's not guarded knowledge. It's not hypocrisy. 4. Referring to someone as a nitpicking little bitch because they were able to confirm that your PhD is not from an accredited school especially on the ground that you invented something, is akin to celebrities, politicians, influencers, etc., who think that they are above the law because of who they are. You can have a legitimate PhD without having invented anything. The lack of the invention doesn't make your PhD any less legitimate. You can also invent something without having a PhD. The lack of a PhD does not make your invention any less legitimate. But to imply that because you invented something, you now get to claim that you have a PhD from an accredited school when you simply do not, and that anyone who points this out, or anyone who points out that the PhD is not accredited, is, insert insult here, is delusional to the point of comedy. 5. You never imagined that anyone would ever question your education. Really? Then why did you bother to go to any school at all? Why did you bother to get any degrees? Why do you use the PhD in all of your marketing and attach it to your name anywhere you can? 6. I have never been criticized by a scientist. It is only by people who didn't go to college. Many people with... that was a quote from him. Many very highly educated people have criticized you. Right off the top of my head, I can think of Dr. Lane Norton, who has a legitimate PhD and is a scientist. 7. The majority of your photos have been outright manipulated, not just retouched. Your photos have been manipulated to the comical degree. I think I rewrote that because it's worded funny, so I must have not fixed it correctly, but the majority of your photos have been manipulated to a comical degree. 8. Matt Wenning is a good dude, intelligent and very strong. The 1,200-pound squat you refer to, though, was in multiply equipment and was a typical West Side style high squat. The most he ever did raw and to depth was 810 pounds. 9. Nitpicking little bitch. Anyone who disagrees with me didn't go to college. Attachment systems that don't violate my patent are idiotic shit. People who complain about my TED Talk should have their fucking nuts cut off. Every dumbass has some smart friends. That obese guy who said, ... fuck that guy. I'm like the nicest fucking guy. Those were all quotes from that video, from that interview he did with Mike, and it says, my response to that is, yeah, you seem swell. And number 10, if you wanted to be criticized and all the criticism was great for business, then you wouldn't be turning that lovely shade of red or having your blood pressure spike so much when you talk about it. And then my final comment after making these 10 points was, I don't hold any ill will towards John. I think that the X3 is a quality product, and if it is used correctly, you will absolutely see great results. He actually says many things that are correct and that I agree with. However, if he says something that is flat out wrong, and he says it in a public forum, then people, such as myself, are going to respond. If you're reading this, John, then I sincerely hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Congratulations on all of your success. Which I mean. I'm not being a smartass. I legitimately mean that. I actually don't have anything against John personally. I don't know him personally. There are certain aspects that I would like to think, like of his personality, that I'd like to think that maybe would get along in real life. I don't know. And there are other things that seem very glaring that I don't agree with or don't like at all. But again, it's just speculation. I don't know him personally. It could be just his business persona. It could be his marketing personality. Who knows? But I had made 15 points originally, but the comment was already long enough. And some of the other points that I got into before I edited it down was I went into his ridiculous, weird claims about TRT, about how there's no such thing as too much TRT or high TRT, which is absolutely not a thing. I also pointed out that his protocol for using the type of testosterone he uses, which has no ester attached to it, and how that very much differs from traditional TRT and actually makes it more potent. And I got into the breakdown of him using less than the average guy, and then just comparing that against reality. And there was other stuff. He had claimed that this new company that he's invested in has just come out with a brand new oral testosterone you can take, so there's no injections. And I kind of pointed out that actually orally available testosterone has been around since I think like the 60s or the 70s. And testosterone creams that you can rub on your skin have been around also for several decades. And I think I originally posted the actual trade name so you could go look it up yourself. But it was just stuff like that. I also pointed out, I think I actually went into detail about the obese guy he refers to, and pointed out that he's not just some obese guy. He's actually one of the best under 105 strongmen on the planet. Like, he's a top 5 best 105 strongmen. Like, he is, I think he finished 5th at the under 105 World's Strongest Man, and then also finished pretty high, like top 10, the Arnold Strongman Classic in that 105 category. So anyway, my kids are getting very loud. It is December 23rd. We're about to go have some fun, and then tomorrow will be Christmas Eve. We'll be doing Christmas stuff. For real, anybody watching this, it seems like even just recently, some of the comments that I got from people, like they saw the interview with John and Mike recently, and because of that interview, they went to my video just to write some angry stuff. And then based on their comment, it's clear that they also didn't actually watch my video and didn't actually listen to what I said. However, I actually don't take any of this personally. Sorry, kids are distracting me. It is what it is. If you think I'm wrong, fine. If you don't agree with me, fine. If you think I'm just a hater or a troll, okay. One of the comments I recently got was saying how compare me to John. It's no comparison. I'm not even close. Okay. Like, it's okay. Anyway, I am legitimately, I'm happy that John has been successful. I don't have anything against his product or his company. Wish him all the best. You guys who own the X3, I hope you're happy with it. I really do. But I mean, if there's bullshit, if there's some blatant bullshit, and I kind of point it out, I don't think that makes me such a crazy guy or a troll or a hater, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This is 2023 and the world has kind of gone haywire. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is already longer than it was supposed to be. Just a casual off the cuff video between things. Kids are coming in. But anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever holidays you celebrate. I'm in Taiwan, so of course we've had some birthdays in my family recently, and then we also celebrate the American holidays. We did Thanksgiving. Now we got Christmas coming up. Then we have regular Western New Year. But then after that, we have Chinese New Year. And it's a very busy time of year. So anyway, be safe, be happy, be well, take care of each other, and I'll talk to you later.